Hello and welcome back to Concert Critiques in Cars with Emily. So this concert was 21 Pilots, Awolnation opened for them, and then Max Frost was the opener for the whole show. It was at Capital One Arena. So getting there, I actually left from Silver Spring, my work, instead of leaving from Gaithersburg, which was definitely a big change. I spot heroed about 0.3 miles away from the venue, and the parking garage was super easy to get to. I was a little bit confused about how it worked because it wouldn't scan while I was in there, but the lady helped me, so it ended up being fine. Made a little bit of a mistake, but it was all good in the end. So anyway, let's get into the show. So Max Frost was actually a really good opener. He came onto the stage, and so he's a one-man band, so he had to do everything totally by himself. So he came on the stage and went to one area and kind of pushed some buttons or flipped some switches and made one type of noise and put that on a loop, and then went to a different section of the stage and put another noise on a loop, and then went to the drums and put the drums on a loop, and then picked up the guitar and started playing, and it was just awesome. And then when he started singing, I really liked his lyrics, and I really liked the sound of the first song. I think the music was really good, and I think his lyrics were really good. Yeah, so really loved his first song. His second song was, it was alright. Definitely different from the first one and not as catchy. But the third song I actually think I recognize. I don't know if I've heard it on the radio before or it was in a show or something, but for some reason I was oh wait, this sounds very familiar to me. Yeah, so he did a really nice job, and it was just really impressive how he was able to play all these different things. During the fourth or fifth song, he got the crowd involved and made them do these ridiculous, almost bird calls, and he would do it and then they would repeat after him. So that was pretty funny. I really enjoyed that part of it. And yeah, I thought he did a really nice job. His last couple songs were pretty solid. That first and third song were probably my favorite, but other than that second song, I thought his set was really good. So then Awolnation. Now, last time I saw Awolnation, they really left a bad taste in my mouth. So I don't know if it's just that my bar was set so low for them this time, but I really actually enjoyed their set. And their light show was pretty cool, so maybe that enhanced it too. But I just thought overall they did a really nice job of making the songs sound more unique, right? Holding notes longer, making words and notes more staccato at some points. I just really liked the fact that they seemed to enjoy this performance more than the last time. I really don't know what happened last time they performed. That one song that they played really slow last time, and I was oh man, I just want to speed this up. This is an energetic song. They played it normal rates. They didn't slow it down, which I thought was really nice. So yeah, they opened with a lesser known song, but it was a really good song, and it was definitely attention catching. And then they had two really big songs, and then they played their slower song, Handyman, which I love. So I really liked their first four songs, were really solid. Then they played more of their popular songs, and then they went into a slower song, and they played another song that I didn't really know. So again, not that they were bad, they just weren't something that was keeping my attention necessarily throughout the show. But yeah, and then of course they have 10 minutes left in their set, and they're okay, well, we have one more song, and I was wait, but you have 10 minutes left. What song? I mean, what are you gonna do with your 5 extra minutes? Let me tell you, man, they played Sail, and it was awesome. It was really cool. They were super energetic on the stage. At one point, the guitarist swung his guitar around his body, so that was super cool. Yeah, so they did an awesome job with Sail, and of course it was their biggest song. The whole crowd stood up for that one, so that was really neat. Also, I forgot to mention before that, during their fourth or fifth song, they had the entire crowd do 6 rounds of the wave around the stadium. So that was pretty ridiculous. And it was pretty funny. By the 6th time, everyone was seriously, we're doing this again? But it was cool. I mean, everyone participated. It was really neat. So yeah, that was pretty solid. So they were just playing instruments in the background while the wave was going around, and then every time we get back, the lead singer would be and go, and then the whole crowd would start again. So that was pretty cool. So they actually had a decent set, especially after their last set. I am going to this tour again in the summer, so in June. So I am interested to see if maybe now that I'm back on Team Awolnation, if I'm gonna like their set more or less equal to what I liked it tonight. And I'm really glad that they made up for the last time I saw them, because again, that was a really rough one. But I'm super glad that I actually enjoyed their set tonight, and I thought they did a really nice job, especially when they changed the lyrics a little bit. So let's get to 21 Pilots. I could literally do a separate video for each song. Obviously, I'm not going to, because that would just be ridiculous. But they did an amazing job, just like right off the bat. So let's actually talk about each, well, maybe not each song, but most of the songs that they did. So the opening was awesome. They put a curtain up to set up the stage, and then when they first come on, Josh is standing there with a torch, and then Tyler slowly gets like brought up on stage from underneath the stage on a burning car, the burning car from Heavy Dirty Soul. So that was pretty cool. They go right into Jumpsuit, which I thought was neat. And also just like a super weird side note, so in the bathroom they had these little like paper triangles cut out, and it said like, you know, this is like 21 Pilots, please like take this out during Jumpsuit, and about like so that Nico won't whatever. So I thought that was kind of cool, like get the crowd involved, and they just put it in the bathroom, so if you went to the bathroom at the right time and you like happened to pick it up. So that was pretty sweet. Of course I didn't notice a lot of the crowd holding those little triangles, but I'm not gonna lie, I was not paying attention to them. I was actually paying attention to the stage and 21 Pilots, so maybe there were people doing it, I don't know. Anyway, then right after Jumpsuit they went into Levitate, which is not surprising because that's exactly how they do it in the album, so that was kind of predicted. At least it didn't surprise me. But yeah, and then after that they started playing older stuff. So they used a lot of like their same transitions from previous concerts. So like Nigel came back, obviously the ski mask came back, the red hat, and I thought it was actually kind of cool because it was almost like every time they played a Blurry Face song, he wore the red hat, and then every time they played like a Vessel song or a song before Vessel, he wore the ski mask. So I did think that was like super cool. Right after they played Levitate, they finally played in full Fairly Local, which I've been waiting to see for so long. So the fact that they played that song actually and didn't just have the crowd sing to them like they did at their last tour, so appreciated, and I'm so glad that that was the song that they played in full, especially right after Levitate. I thought that was a really good placement for that song, and it was really exciting. Tyler ended up in the crowd, like up in the 200 section, so he's done that before at different previous concerts, so that was cool though. I like when he does that, so that was pretty neat. And someone was like, how did he get up there? And I was like, bro, he was not on the stage. Get that he wasn't on the stage, but anyway, so that was pretty fun. So then again, he played like a couple older songs. Lane Boy, which is not my favorite. Everyone got low and jumped up, which is fine. They had the hazmat people come back. I just don't personally love that song, but it is a fun song on stage because they do like some pretty cool things on stage. But they did play The Judge, which I personally love that song, so when they started playing it, I was like, yes, I'm so glad they chose that song. They also did We Don't Believe What's on TV, and that's like when he got the crowd involved with like the 1, 2, 3, yeah. So that was like, again, super great. He got the crowd involved. Not a huge fan of that song either, but can't complain, it was awesome. So then I like don't even know how to explain everything that happened. There was just so many like crazy things that went on. So then at one point there was like a crosswalk that came down into the center of like above the pit. So it went from the front stage to the like side stage or like the backstage. And that's usually when they go to the backstage, they play all of their like older songs, but they had like a pretty good mix throughout everything. But they did come to the backstage, and Tyler they both played Taxi Cab, which I thought was good. Really good. I like forgotten how good that song is, and I only heard it live once at a hometown show, and it was like so like breathtaking, and it was awesome. And then right after that that backstage was a really good set list. So they had Taxi Cab, then they went into oh my god, don't tell me. Oh, why can't I think of the name of the song right now? Oh, I'll think of it. But they went into two slower. Oh, Neon Gravestones. Okay, yeah. So they went into Neon Gravestones next, and then after that they played Bandito, which was so good. I mean, like, chills good. They, like, the visual was really cool. So right after they played Taxi Cab, they, like, a screen came down around the, like, side stage, and the way that the lights worked, and, like, they've had, like, projections on the screens, and then they had just, like, lights in the middle, like, of the stage. It was really, really cool, especially for Bandito. I mean, the lighting for Neon Gravestones was cool, but the lighting for Bandito was just, like, phenomenal. So well done. So, like, whoever thought of that and whoever's responsible for that, like, kudos to you, because it is just so incredible. Definitely really cool song to see live. And then after that, they kind of went back to, like, a more fun, upbeat tone to the show. So they played Pet Cheetah, which I, again, like, think that song is hysterical. So as they were playing Pet Cheetah, they all kind of, that walkway came back down over the pit, and then they walked over the bridge to get back to the main stage. Once they got back there, they played, you know, some great ones like Holding On To You, and they kind of went back into some of, like, the other Trench songs. Nico and the Niners was played, so that was, like, a really cool song too to see. And I really liked the video for Nico and the Niners, like the video that was displayed on the screen. I thought that was pretty cool. And then, of course, Holding On To You is just always amazing. After that, after Holding On To You, sorry, there's just so much that happened, it's really hard to remember everything. So after Holding On To You, they brought the other bands out. So they brought Max Frost and Awolnation back out, and that's when they did their covers. But they only played two covers. They did Goo Goo Dolls, and then they did Hey Jude. So that was, like, really cool. I really actually liked Hey Jude. They had each lead singer from each band sing part of the song, so I thought that was pretty neat. And of course, it's always fun to hear songs that you know well, and I mean, I like both of the songs that they chose, so that was good, because in the past concerts, I haven't always loved the choices for the cover songs, but they chose really good ones this time, in my opinion. But yeah, so that was pretty fun. And then they started playing Car Radio, and let me tell you, that song live is fantastic. I really like that song. And so traditionally, Tyler will go out into, like, back to where that backstage is and stand up on a pillar. And I was looking for the pillar, and it wasn't there when I first got there, and I was like, I wonder if they're going to do something different. Maybe they're not going to play Car Radio. Again, I hate looking at the set list for these types of shows, because I know that I like to anticipate what's being played. And for example, if I had known that Fairly Local was going to be played, I would have been so mad that was ruined for me, because that was a really nice surprise. Anyway, so I wasn't really sure if they were going to play Car Radio, so but I didn't see the pillar, and then all of a sudden they started playing Car Radio, and I was like, I wonder what's going to happen. I wonder if he's not going to, you know, do what he normally does, which would have been out of character, because so far, like, they had pretty much followed, like, a lot of the same transitions, and he wore a lot of the same outfits, and again, like I said, those same props, like the red hat and the mask and stuff. So of course, as he's singing, they're, like, putting the pillar up, and I was like, oh, there it is. So he came out and he stood on the pillar and sang the last part of Car Radio, and again, it was amazing. I love that song live. It's just so fantastic. And I love also that, like, God, this is gonna sound so bratty, but like an old school 21 Pilots fan, when I first started going to their shows, at a certain point in the song, they had everyone raise their hand, and then they had everyone, you know, put their hand up and down. And now they don't do that anymore, so it's so funny to me. Like, I just look around the crowd quickly to see who's doing that, and it's cool, because like some people really like do know that that is the thing to do at that time in the song. So I thought that was pretty interesting that some people were really like into it in that way, and then other people just like danced and were hanging out. But like, that to me is like a clear sign that you've been to a 21 Pilots show before and you've seen that song a long time ago. So I thought that was pretty cool. I really do like that song live a lot. But yeah, after that was kind of like the encore. It was basically just him getting back to stage, I think. So the stage went dark, and then they came back and played Leave the City, which is the last song on Trench. And I was really, really hoping they would play that song, and I was really, really hoping they would save it to the end, and they did both things, so it was great. And the video for that was like just such, I mean, just hearing those notes played live and hearing him sing it live was like put me in a trance, like in and of itself. Like I was just, again, like chills, totally blown away by just hearing the song. But then to watch the video behind it, like the bird cages were like just so cool. And again, like I said in my album analysis of Trench, it's like it brings back every part of the album, and the video behind the music for this one brought back every part of the show. They brought back neon gravestones, they brought back jumpsuit. They really did a fantastic job. And not just in the video, like the jumpsuit part was like the drums, right? Josh Dunn, like you almost like hear him play that same like that build up in Jumpsuit again in the song Leave the City. So like I just totally appreciated that song, and I thought it was a really great way to like round out the show as a whole, especially the Trench part of it, because I thought it was just a really good job, and I really liked that song a lot. And then of course they ended with Trees, because that's how they always end a show. So yeah, it was like a really great way to end that show. As always jump up and down for that one, always get super into it. And of course they brought the drums out into the crowd, so they were standing on platforms while they were drumming, and confetti was falling at the end of the song, as it always does. So yeah, it was a really great way to end the show. I mean, the show is always ended in a similar fashion, and that's like one thing I will never complain about. I love when they end with the Trees. I think it's an awesome tradition, and I really like it. A couple things that happened that were just things that I remembered as I was talking. When they first got to the backstage, they talked about how they dedicate this part of the show to their fathers, because the dads are always like, oh, like I just wish there was like a moment to sit down. And he was like, well, this is your moment. And so he was like, all the people in seats sit down, and that's fine. I just don't know. Like I like standing, so I didn't really want to like feel obligated to sit if I didn't want to, especially for Taxi Cab. I really like that song, and I like wanted to stand for it. And even like Bandito at the end, like it kind of like gets like more upbeat, so the fact that I felt like I couldn't really enjoy it because I was seated wasn't necessarily super awesome. But again, not like a huge thing to complain about. But yeah, so they did like a really fun job, and you know, the crowd was awesome. Oh, the other thing I was thinking of is they talk about how like he'll never lie to his fans. That's one of his like morals on stage. And so they were in Madison Square Garden last night apparently, and they were like, so far you guys are like doing better than them. So I'm interested to see if, you know, when I go see them later on the next year, if they say something similar, or if they are true to their word and they're not just making it up. But yeah, so score. I remembered. So this is obviously gonna be a tough one. I'm obviously a huge 21 Pilots fan, and I don't think I'll ever actually see a perfect set from 21 Pilots, just because I want very specific songs played that I haven't heard yet. So like seeing songs like Lane Boy again, I mean, again, that song is great. I really like seeing it live. It's a really fun song. But if I got to choose, I would not choose Lane Boy, because I've already seen it like 2 or 3 times. So just like keeping that in mind, I'm definitely not going to give this show a 10, although it's going to be pretty close. Because the opening band, that second song, really just kind of, and Awolnation, even though they did so much better than last time, there were still a few songs that were not, like, didn't grab me, and, you know, there was nothing special about them that kept me engaged. But then, of course, 21 Pilots was super amazing, and I love 21 Pilots. They picked really good cover songs. They had an amazing light show. They had such cool, like, props and all these other things, confetti, and just, like, other cool, interesting things that happened. And I'm not even giving you all of the details, like, because I just can't. There's just not enough time. I think I'm going to give this one a solid 9.75. Like, it was close to a perfect show. The opener was amazing at points. The second band was pretty good, and then of course 21 Pilots was amazing. Also, the show went late. It ended at 11, which is like the end all be all of when shows can end on a weekday in DC. So like, again, I love 21 Pilots, so I'm not complaining that they played for an extra half hour, but if this was any other band, that would have been something I may have complained about. So to keep it fair, I think 9.75 is what I'm going to stick with. Definitely close to a 10, but not a perfect 10. So yeah, let me know what you think. Do you agree? Did you go to the show? Did you not go to the show? Where you wish you were there? Let me know. Just comment below and like, subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Bye.